Today we are going to do a new chapter, chapter 3, the 7 cream jugs. Okay, cream jugs, first of all, let me tell you, they are uh, milk jugs. You know, when you serve tea, there is a teapot, and there are two little, one pot in which you put sugar cubes, and there's another jug kind of a thing, smaller, in which you put milk and you add into the tea. Okay, that is called as a cream jug. Okay, the situation here is, it's actually a humorous play, a funny play, where the whole situation turns upside down, right? There is a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Pigeon Court, who had just were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. So you should know that this is a time when long back, when probably around 50 years ago, when there were no phone messaging and phone calls or nothing like that. There were the times when people used to write letters and send something called as a telegram. You know what a telegram is? A telegram is a short message sent by post, which is for each word you pay money for it. So the messages are really short. Okay, they are called as telegrams. If you ask your parents, they might be able to tell you, or you ask your grandparents, they must have seen it. Telegrams, right? They're very short. Like suppose somebody dies in a family, there were no phones on those times, so telegrams were sent to inform the other family, and they used to be like, so and so passed away, funeral at this particular time, so you have to go if you want to attend the funeral. So the words were limited, okay, because for each word you pay money. Okay, this is the time to imagine those kind of times, right? And the story goes like, or begins with, the Pigeon Courts celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. Both the couples are there and sitting and counting their gifts. Okay, it is a most awkward time for a respectable Pigeon Courts. They are expecting their cousin who had a notorious problem. Notorious means known for the wrong reason. Notorious means to be known for the wrong reason. But it is not long before the table turns and they become quite notorious themselves. So they are expecting a notorious cousin to come, but the whole thing changes, and Mr. and Pigeon Court, they are supposed to be very respectable people in the family, right? You know, they are an old couple and they were given a lot of respect in the family, and they were very rich and well known in the family. So they were very respected in the family, well respected by all the members in the family. But the whole thing changes. The one they were expecting to be notorious, okay, they were expecting that person to be notorious, but the table turns and the Pigeon Courts become notorious. Notorious, I told you, be known for a wrong reason. Okay. Humorous one-act play of mistaken identity by the master storyteller Saki. Okay. So the whole story revolves around a mistaken identity. Identity means they think this person who is supposed to come, Wilfred, is somebody else, and they expect that person to be doing the wrong things that they are expecting Wilfred the Snatcher to come. But actually another Wilfred comes, okay, and the whole story changes. Okay, there are two things in the story which you have to keep in mind. One is kleptomania and the other is, both the meanings are given over here. The other is the name Wilfrid. Okay. Kleptomania is a psychological problem, okay, where these people, for no reason, they will pick up things. They don't want that particular thing also. It is of no use for them, but still they have to pick it up because it is a psychological disorder. They have this psychological problem. It is not their fault. It is something playing up in their mind. Okay, and that disease is called as kleptomania. Kleptomania. Klepto means hold. Mania means madness. Hold, to take away something. A madness which makes you take away something. Okay? So kleptomania. The other is the name Wilfrid. Like we all have in our families, names repeated very often. The same name, the same kind of name will be there many times. Like in many of the Indian houses, you will find Yash, Akash, Akhil. In the same family, you will find 2 or 3 of them. Like for example, my name, right? My name is Elizabeth, and there are 6 Elizabeths in my family. 6 of them, mind it, right? From my mother-in-law to her grandchildren, there are 6 of us, all Elizabeths, right? But thankfully, we all have another name by which we are called at home, so there is no much of a confusion. But that confusion is not there in the story because both the Wilfrids are called Wilfrids, right? One Wilfrid is known as, or is by nickname, is called as Wilfrid the Snatcher. Not in front of him. In front of him, probably they used to call him Wilfrid, but behind him, Wilfrid the Snatcher, right? And there was another Wilfrid, which was Wilfrid the Diplomat. A diplomat is a person who is a representative of a country, of one country, of suppose India. He is a representative of India. He goes to another country and does all the work that our country wants him to do there in that country. He is called as a diplomat. Okay. So these are the 2 Wilfrids: Wilfrid the Snatcher, Wilfrid the Diplomat. Okay. So they get both. We'll start with the story anyway. The characters we'll discuss. Mr. Peter Pigeoncote, Mrs. Pigeoncote, wife of Mr. Pigeoncote, then Wilfrid, their cousin. They are not saying which Wilfrid, one of them. Then Mrs. Consuela von Bouillon, a house guest. She is there only in the small part. And the narrator. Okay, the main characters which we'll be dealing with in the story are Mr. Pigeoncote, Mrs. Pigeoncote, Wilfrid, and the narrator. Okay? The narrator. The Pigeoncote, Peter and his wife, sit in their comfortable home in London. They have recently celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary. And they were tired of counting all the silver presents sent to them by the family and friends and are sharing family gossip. Okay? So they have got quite a number of gifts, okay, for their wedding anniversary. They got so many gifts and they were so tired of counting each one of them. Every day morning they'll start counting and keeping it back, right? And they were sitting and talking about the family gossip which happens in every family. Mrs. Pigeoncote, I suppose young Wilfrid Pigeoncote will never visit us now that he had inherited all the money. Okay. This Wilfrid the Snatcher, he was an orphan. Orphan, you know already, right? Because last year also, I think in the 600, you have learned the story of Pollyanna, remember? Pollyanna is also an orphan. An orphan is a person who is lost both their parents. The father and the mother, both are not there, and so they are called as an orphan. So Wilfred is an orphan, okay? But by his luck, one of his uncles dies, and the uncle probably doesn't have children of his own, left all the property, huge amount of money, to Wilfred the Snatcher. Okay, so suddenly, though he being an orphan and he was called as Wilfred the Snatcher, he becomes overnight very rich. He inherits a lot of property. Mr. Pigeoncourt. Well, we can hardly expect him to seeing that we snubbed him when he was a nobody. I don't think I'll ever set eye on him since he was a boy of 12. Okay, so till now we have not given him any kind of attention. We have always kept, keeping him away when he was a nobody, when he had no property, no money. He was an orphan, right? We never accepted him. We were always kept him away, right? Mrs. Pigeoncourt. There was a good reason. We never encouraged him to visit with that notorious problem of his. Wilfred is not the sort of person one would want in one's house. So Mrs. Pigeoncourt, she is not saying what the problem is. She just leaves that place empty. She doesn't say what she wants to say. Okay. She says, there is a good reason that we did not allow that boy to come to our house. Why? Because we all know why, right? We also know why. Because he was a nobody. He had no money. Second reason is he was a snatcher. If you bring him home, he will take away anything. So, it is safe to keep him away. Mr. Pigeoncourt, well, the problem still exists, doesn't it? Or do you think inheriting fortune will reform the young man? Okay, so Mr. Pigeoncourt says, he's still the Wilfred. But the only thing is, now he's become very rich, richer than us. Okay, so mind it, he is now richer than the Pigeoncourt. So he is asking the lady Pigeoncourt, since he's probably become very rich now, probably he's lost the habit of kleptomania. So he is trying to figure out, probably he's become better. Mrs. Pigeoncourt, of course not. But the problem doesn't seem as serious now. When a man of wealth, this sort of thing is no longer considered a theft. It becomes instead an interesting personal quirk. Okay. So Mrs. Pigeoncourt, no, such problems don't become overnight correct. Once you have this problem, it cannot be cured. But since he now has lots of money, right? People with lots of money, small little problems, what they have, everybody closes their eyes. He's a rich man, right? But if that person was a poor man, a small little problem becomes a big problem. Isn't it? Right? When you have money, a big problem looks very small. But when you don't have money, a small problem looks very big. Okay? It's just human nature. Money is everything, right? Narrator. The Pigeoncourts are discussing their relative Wilfred. Wilfred, a young man of 25, is known throughout the Pigeoncourt family as Wilfred the Snatcher. He is a kleptomaniac. When Wilfred visits his relatives, nothing in their house smaller than a dining room cupboard, say a sideboard, is safe. He will carry off anything provided it belongs to someone else. So the narrator is saying who Wilfred is. Wilfred is a called as a Wilfred the Snatcher in the family. he will take away anything he can lay his eyes on. Even a sideboard cupboard, anything smaller than that which he can carry, he will carry it. Okay, he was very good at it, right? So the narrator says that he would carry away anything and everything. And so in the family he was known as Wilfred the Snatcher. Mr. Pigeon Coat. Reading a telegram. Okay. He gets, I told you what a telegram is, right? I already told you in the introduction. This is funny. Here's a telegram from Wilfred. He is driving through town in his car and would like to stop and pay his respect. He asks if he can stay the night. So telegram is here. So he reads the telegram and then he says, Wilfred is driving through the town. He is passing through this particular town where the pigeon coats are staying. So now he is asking, can he come and stay with us for a night? What will you say if you know that person is a thief and he asks, can I come and stay in your house for the night? What will you say? You'll say no. Anyway, Mrs. Pigeon Coat, are you sure it's from Wilfred? Wilfred the Snatcher? The name Wilfred is so common in your family. Okay, so Mrs. Pigeon Coat says, are you sure it's that Wilfred? Wilfred the Snatcher. Because Wilfred, the name is very common in your family. Are you sure it's Wilfred the Snatcher? Mr. Pigeon Coat, it must be from him. None of the other Wilfreds have car. Okay, so there were other Wilfreds were not so rich as Wilfred the Snatcher. Wilfred the Snatcher, I told you, became very rich suddenly. Now he owns a car also, right? So he says, none of the other Wilfreds have car. He only has a car. So he is only coming. Mrs. Pigeon Coat, looking at their gifts. The first thing that goes through the mind of the lady is, she looks at all her new gifts. Gifts which she have got recently. This is an awkward time to have a person with this kind of a problem in our house. Okay, so she says it's an awkward, means unsuitable time to have a person in our house with this kind of a problem. We have all of these silver gifts lying around and more coming in every day in the mail. I can hardly keep track of them all as it is. Okay, she said, look at all the silver gifts lying here. So many of them are there. And every day there are gifts coming in by mail. So I can't keep a track of all these gifts. And I cannot guarantee that your cousin will not take away anything. I am very worried, Mr. Pigeon Coat. You must keep a sharp lookout. That's all, Mr. Pigeon Coat says. You just keep a sharp look at him all the time. Keep watching what he is doing. Don't leave him alone. Keep watching him all the time, Mrs. Pigeon Coat. For these kleptomaniacs are so clever, especially when they have been at it as long as Wilfred. So she said, these kleptomaniacs are very clever. And he's been a kleptomaniac for so many years. He's got so much of experience of taking away things. And I don't think it's very easy to keep watching him. Okay, with this we come to the end of scene 1. The next part we'll do scene 2. Thank you. Have a nice day.